What's up guys, J Joseph here, and we're back at it again with another video. This is my top 5 favorite skate shoes of 2020. This list is completely on shoes that I have skated. All these shoes I've skated for at least a week to about a month or 2 months or past that. So each and every last one of these shoes I've been able to feel out on my board. I've skated, done different tricks with, and I have a pretty good opinion on why all of these shoes are in the list that they currently are. Without further ado, let's hop into number 5. My number 5 favorite shoe out of all the shoes I've skated, I've tried on, all that good stuff for the year is the New Balance 379. These guys had such amazing flick on them. They are a pretty basic New Balance shoe, but with that simplicity, you get awesome flick, you get nice board feel, and all that good stuff that comes with it. The New Balance 379 was not to disappoint, and surprisingly to me, for a shoe this simplistic, it did have some impact resistance. Not as much as a cup sole shoe, but definitely more than your average vulcanized shoe because of their double outsole. And the only other company I know of to do something of this nature is Lakai. So shouts out to New Balance. They kept it durable. The end was a little floppy, but there wasn't anything that was super like, this is why this shoe should be my favorite shoe or anything. It was just a really nice shoe, and it made the cut for my number 5 shoe. For shoe number 4, this is going to be extremely surprising to you guys, especially if you have been keeping up with my page from the beginning of the year to this very point. My number 4 shoe is the Nyjah 2. So the Nyjah 2 did one up the first Nyjahs, and it came to durability on the toe, but when it came to the rest of the upper, the durability to me was severely lacking. The Nyjah 1s were a tighter fit, so for me, I didn't need my laces in order to keep the shoe on, so I wasn't reliant on the laces. Just whatever strapping system, the Gillet strapping system that not the Gillet, this one uses the Gillet. So the system that the Nyjah 1s used just kept it snug to my feet, and although it was a little bit annoying and hurtful, it was more, I guess, at the end of the day, comfortable and durable, and it made more sense to me. So with the Nyjah 2s, I found that the knitting, this mesh portion, all that good stuff, I knew from when I opened up this that I was gonna hit that portion, but I also didn't expect to put a hole in it and to be able to feel that as I'm skating and doing flick tricks. So that was annoying to see that mesh portion here and to be ripping through it. And of course, most people have mentioned that, yeah, this is something that you're gonna hit. I knew that off rip, but the one thing I was so concerned about, and I had a gut feeling that it was gonna happen, was the Gillet system. The Gillet system failed me. I did not like this lacing system at all when it came down to it, because just having these 2 exposed pieces was enough for my shoe to not fit correctly and for me to get really annoyed as I'm skating, because I ripped through one piece and I am basically right there to ripping through the other one. And because of that, you're skating a little bit looser with this shoe. The shoe's already made wider than the Nyjah 1s. So with that being a thing, I don't know, the lacing system just doesn't really help you out there. And then when you're trying to tighten it up, you have more laces hanging off to the side because they can't loop to the other side anymore because it's ripped. And some people did say that there was a piece to tie it under, but there is not. I've checked throughout this whole entire Nyjah 2 to see if I could lace those 2 little loops under and protect them as well. Not there. It made me mad enough to not like this shoe more than my 3rd favorite shoe, because I feel like if you have a lacing protecting system, you should try to protect all the laces or none of them at all. So that was pretty much it. Otherwise, the grip was there. The outzetted design was perfect with these. It took impact, but those two factors were just enough for me to be like, no, I'm not feeling the shoe. And then not only was the shoe looser for me, it just made it look more ugly. So Nyjah 2s, unfortunately, while you were one of my favorite looking shoes when I first got them, you are my number 4 favorite shoe for the year. Not saying it's a bad thing, it's just it didn't make the top 3 because of that little thing going on there. So before I hop into the top 3, I have one honorable mention because this shoe I've been skating off and on periodically throughout the year. Like I said before, if you guys have been following me from the beginning of the year to this point, that you've seen me in these shoes. These are the P-Rod 7s. So the P-Rod 7s was a grail shoe for me because when these originally came out, I did not get a chance to get them. My mom was like, I'm not gonna buy these Nikes for you to mess them up. They look just like Dunks in my opinion. There, you know, of course there's things that separate them, but like this was the shoe for me. And I'm so glad that I was able to get a couple pairs because the P-Rod 7 skated just like the P-Rod 7 skated just like how I expected them to. They have great flick. They take impact really well. The Lunarlon heel system for the midsole and the sole of the shoe was amazing. And the protection of the laces on the front, real smart, super easy. And I kept all of my laces because of it. So this shoe was an honorable mention. I didn't put it on this list because this isn't a shoe that came out this year. And more so the fact that this shoe, even if it didn't come out this year, this shoe is so far back that I was only able to get it on Poshmark and I got a pair off of eBay, but it's not sold in stores. It's not something that you can expect to find in stores at this very moment. So this is an honorable mention for me. The P-Rod 7s will always have a place in my heart because these were one of the greatest shoes ever made and nobody can change my opinion about that. Momo, say hi to the camera. Look right here. Sorry guys. Subscribe for more Momo if you guys aren't aware, he is the mascot for the page now. All right, so on to shoe number 3. This shoe had me skeptical in the beginning because they are a newer company, but they are doing so many things right. And I've mentioned this company multiple times on my page. So let's bring it on out. This is the Neen Williams Footprint Intercept shoe. This shoe is my number 3 favorite shoe to be released this year. I was skating it in March and I enjoyed what I got out of it. I felt that the impact was actually pretty standard, but I didn't have any type of fatigue afterwards, so that Fluid X technology actually does work. I 100% stand by it. The only thing I would say is if you want more impact protection, if you want to not really feel the shock as much as you were told footprint shoes and insoles do, take a footprint insole and insert it in a footprint shoe. You will be handling impact so very well, I promise you. That was the best combination I've had with this shoe. Although I ended up taking too much impact. Like, well, no, how do I explain that? It was so impact resistant that I wanted to take the insole back out. Is that weird? That's probably weird. Anywho, I found the shoe to be pretty durable. The Forever Cap that they have, I hope I didn't just use S's lingo for their version of the Forever Cap. They both have versions of Forever Cap. I'm calling it Forever Cap because I know one of the two companies calls it Forever Cap. That's going to be the most durable version of this shoe. I got the regular suede because I wanted to see what their standard suede is like. And it's nothing to be disappointed by. I did get a hole there, but I know that Forever Cap is going to last so much longer and grip so much more. I found the grip to be pretty nice on the upper, but on the sole, it was a little bit more slippery than it was for the Nyjahs and the New Balances. But with that being said, that was the only real thing I had a problem with when it came to this shoe. Surprisingly, I didn't rip through any laces for as long as I was skating this shoe, and there was nothing else really wrong with the shoe. It's just a standard good skateboarding shoe made by a made by an insole company that's trying to branch more into skateboarding and give more of what skaters need. Keep in mind, their insole company for skateboarding, of course. I'm not trying to rip on Footprint. it's just super sick to see that a company that came in the game making protective gear for skateboarding, making protective gear for your feet, are now making the very shoes that are going to be the most protective in the game. So with that being said, the Neen Williams Footprint shoe is my third favorite skate shoe of this year. Let's hop into number 2. So number 2 is going to be pretty skeptical to you guys because of what I got to say about it, but this shoe is none other than the Quattro. I found these guys to be super amazing to skate in. Honestly, they have such great flick, and honestly, it was just impeccable. When I did my first kickflip, I was actually thrown away by how good the flick was. It was super grippy. It threw my board away. So it was sick. Honestly, skating these shoes was pretty awesome. I didn't really have any complaints or anything. I was surprised that the mesh, this huge mesh, wasn't actually like torn through or anything of that nature. But then again, I haven't been doing too many heel flip tricks in these, but for the heel flip tricks I did do, which are of course varial heels, they were phenomenal. All of my varial heels felt really awesome in these shoes, and it's just because of that double outsole that they had going on, the heel counter being slightly different from the toe. It just gave a really good flick for my heel flip tricks. And I only did a little bit of heel flips. They all felt good, but the varial heels felt so damn awesome. I wish I had clips of them to show you guys. But the flick for both kick flips and heel flips felt pretty awesome in the shoe. And the overall structure just made my foot feel nice in the shoe. But the issue with this shoe is the fact that I did a really huge mistake. And this probably cost it from being my number 1 favorite shoe of the year. So, on S's site, where I bought these from, there was a disclaimer saying that you should go a half size up because it is a smaller fitting shoe. I completely skipped over that disclaimer and got the same size that I would normally get in my shoes, or so I thought. And then, on top of that, when I got the shoe, I ended up having to stretch it out because I actually bought a whole size smaller. And I look back at my transaction, I realized that not only did I not go up half a size, I accidentally bought a half size smaller than what I would have normally bought for the company. So I really skated a shoe that was a whole size smaller than what I normally get. So you can imagine that after a while, that still ended up being painful because my shoe wasn't big enough for my foot. Had it just been a half size smaller, I probably would have been okay, but it being a whole size smaller, I messed up. I messed up hardcore. That was the only real con I had for this shoe because the grip was there. This outsole treading was super grippy. It took Primo really damn well. So I like that they put this like squishy formula right where your arches would be, right where you would land Primo the most. And then of course, you got the fat tongue. And that is a necessity for a shoe to be great in my book. So overall, this shoe was pretty awesome. It did everything it needed to. I just needed a bigger size in it. So that is why this shoe is my number 2 shoe. And honestly, if I had the right size completely in this shoe, I probably would still be skating this shoe to this day. So the S Quattro is my number 2 shoe. Now, with all these great and wonderful shoes being talked about, I have to go on ahead and give you guys the number 1 shoe I have. My very favorite shoe of this year. It was super anticipated for me, and I know a lot of people who are watching this video are probably not going to expect this, but for the mass majority of people who've been watching my page for this long, and even if you started at the beginning of the year, if you watched my videos for as long as you have, getting all the way to this point, then you might just know what my favorite shoe is. But I'm gonna go on ahead and say it. I'm gonna go on ahead and show it. My number 1 favorite shoe of 2020 is the Kyle Walker Pro 2. Now this shoe has so much controversy because of the Velcro strap. I just gotta go on ahead and say that Velcro strap didn't bother me at all. Honestly, it made it look cooler in my personal opinion. It would be cool if it had laces as well, like a lace version. That'd probably be so fire and that shoe would sell out even faster. But even with the Velcro strap, I found this shoe to be super duper comfortable, super durable, very grippy. Flick was on point in these guys. I can't even begin to I can't stress it. The flick was grippy and comfortable. I enjoyed these shoes a lot. The only things I could say about this shoe that I really didn't like when I come back to it is that the tongue wasn't as puffy as the original Kyle Walker Pro, and that it could use a little bit more perforation holes. Otherwise, impact resistance in that heel was so much better than the original ones that I didn't even need to take out the Vans insole that was in here. I only did it because the footprint insole is slightly thinner, so I have a little bit more board feel with that footprint insole, but it does still take the impact resistance I need in the footprint insole, so I propped it in here a couple of times for when I wanted to just mainly mess around flat ground. But this shoe was awesome. There wasn't anything I would change about this shoe other than giving it the same tongue that I would give the original Kyle Walker Pros, because honestly, it ended up being more durable. I never broke through the suede for as long as I was skating it. The Varial heels felt pretty awesome, although not as great as they felt in the S Quattros. The Varial heels were my standard feel-good Varial heels, and I skated this shoe straight. I think this was the only shoe I skated straight from the moment I got them all the way till I think 2 to 3 months later. I had to pause in a couple other shoes here and there, but I was able to skate these shoes super long before getting re-hurt, and I really enjoyed the Kyle Walker Pro 2. The make of these shoes is awesome, and just because I enjoyed the Kyle Walker Pro 2s that much, that is why I gave out the giveaway. I wanted somebody else to feel or get a chance to really rock this shoe and feel it out like how I was feeling it, because it really did shock me how much better these shoes skated than the first Kyle Walker Pros. Now the first Kyle Walker Pros, I had 7 different pairs of them. So once again, this might be a little bit more on the biased side, but I really did enjoy the step up that the Kyle Walker Pro 2 took. And because of that, I deemed this my #1 favorite shoe. So hopefully you guys enjoyed my top 5 shoes of 2020. Hopefully, if you did enjoy it, you already have smashed that like button. But if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button below. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button, because 2021, we're hopping into more skate shoes. We're gonna get our hands on some really nice shoes being dropped in 2021. We're gonna make sure that we get to skate them, because I'm gonna hop off this injury strong. We're gonna keep pushing forward. 2021, we're looking for no injuries, because I'm gonna take more care of my body and make sure that these injuries don't reappear again. So make sure you guys are taking care of your bodies as well, especially if you are skateboarding. Treat those legs right so then you're not pausing throughout the year like I have been. And once again, like, comment, and subscribe. And because of the overwhelming amount of people that have been messaging me to try these shoes out throughout the year, I thought I shouldn't get it just because I saw so many other YouTubers reviewing this shoe that I felt skate better than me. But because so many people keep leaving the comment for me and want me to do it, I'm gonna make sure somewhere between now and the beginning of next year that I grab Thiago Lemos's New Balance shoe. So until then, make sure you guys hit the like button. If you really want to see me review the Thiago Lemos 1010s, then make sure that you guys tell me in the comments, and I'm gonna make it happen. Until then, peace out, you guys.
Everybody's living like the clock don't change. Being comfortable equivalent to the same old thing. I'll be damned if I am living like there's not a better day. It's my time to go and get it. Fuck what anybody say.